So my name's Darren, I'm a topiary artist, I work all over the UK, and we're just going to clip this box ball. Very simple to do. Again, we're going to just look down the plane that we're cutting and just think like a machine and go over once or twice to make sure we have a nice cut. You can see here with this one, if we turn it to the light, where it's been cut before, you can probably see it's been torn, some of the leaf. So we're just going to remove that because we want a nice clean cut. Because if you tear the leaf, it tends to brown off and not look so nice. So as I'm clipping, I'm just working by feel. This has already got this is already a sphere, a ball shape. So we don't have to sort of renovate too much, although there's a nice hole here, so we have to fill that in a little bit. So we're not going to clip in everything here. What we're going to do is allow that hole to fill in. And you're really just taking your time to go around the plant. Take off some of these leaves that have ripped. And at some stage we'll step back and take a look. But by doing this sort of quite a fast first draft, you take off the sort of the broken leaves, the torn leaves, and start to get that shape back together. And then I'll go back over it again to tidy it up and make sure it looks as good as it can possibly look. Just brush across the top. You flick some pieces up, but it allows you to get rid of some of the debris. I'm just coming to have a look. Just going to come and have a look from there. So what I can see is on one side we've got less growth on this side, and then a sort of bulge here. So I'm just going to try and take some of the bulge off, and that may have been because when it was at the nursery it was left against a wall, or it didn't get as much light on one side, so you've got less growth here, less nice thick growth. But it's just a case of going round, stepping back, trying to take a look. It's not a perfect specimen. We've got a little bit of a hole on this side, but we're going to just go over with a pair of hand shears just to try and get a little bit more finesse in it and make it look smart. And it's the same process as with the shears. You're just having a look through. take a look from different sides. If you're looking for a box ball, I want that underneath to be, we want it to curve in, and it just means, you know, at times you're taking off just half a leaf, but that's okay, it doesn't matter. The shears are sharp. And this is the lovely thing about boxwood, is that you've got this small leaf, so you can get lots of detail in your piece. So because we've got a hole in one side of the box ball, I'm trying to just bring in the opposite side to try and balance it out a little bit. What will happen next year is that will fill in, and then it makes life easier because you just follow the shape that's already there. You want to keep looking from different sides, and because this is quite small, it's actually easier for me just to turn the pot. But if you're working with something a bit bigger, then you're going to have to do a lot of steps. Keep walking around, looking backwards. So you have to step back and have a little look. So you know when you're finished, just by having to step back and have a look at what you've got. But obviously with this box ball, we've got a big chunk missing from one side, so you're never going to get that perfect ball. So at some stage you just have to say, this is what we've got for this year, and we'll let it fill in and we'll let it grow in. And don't worry too much. Topiary takes time. It takes time to grow things in, and in each year it will get better and better, as long as you're looking for that ball shape. I'm just going to have a look from here. And I think for me, that will do for now. All topiary begins from two basic shapes. There's two basic skeleton shapes, and that's the ball and a cone. So for example, if you have a cone, you can turn it into a spiral, or you can put two cones together, tie them at the top, bring them together, and you create an archway. So whatever you're trying to make, if you're ever lost and need inspiration, just go back to those two basic shapes, the ball or the cone, and then from there, you can decide, begin to make something with a little bit more flourish and a little bit more movement and joy to it. So for example, you could allow the top of this to grow up and create an onion, or you can not clip the top and it can become another ball on top of this ball. But you're always starting from either a ball or a cone. One way of making topiary is you can sit down with a pen and paper, or you can use Play-Doh and some cocktail sticks and create your shapes. And that's one way of doing it. You might say, I want to make this. And then you would say, we're going to take 5 years to make it. Or decide it's got to be 8 foot tall and this wide, and that's our limit. What can we make within that? And we want it to have a spiral. So you begin to make that and see how the plant, you allow a kind of random act of the plant's growth to compose the final shape. So you don't plan it at the start. You say over the next 5 years, we're going to have a piece this high and this wide, and we want a spiral in it somewhere. And then you just begin to allow the shape to be suggested by the plant itself. And there's something really exciting about that, because you're making something without a final destination in mind. You're allowing time and friction to make something really fantastic and unique.